We have rates dropping, condo prices plunging, bidding wars disappearing, but maybe not. Open houses definitely feel calmer, agents are returning calls faster, and then some of the listings you bookmarked 2 weeks ago are still there. That is the reality of the market right now. And those listings that were sitting are now offering flexible dates and flexible pricing. This is a market where selection is back, negotiations are civil, and prices are easing, but totally not collapsing. That's the broad overview. I know most of you are going to watch 30 seconds of this video and then click off, but I'm going to get into the specifics of the market, what the market's doing right now, so you can prepare for the holiday season and 2026. And then hopefully this video is going to save you a bunch of time, a bunch of money, and hopefully a lot of headache. And you'll know whether or not to buy now or wait or sell. So yes, from Burnaby to New West, whatever it is, you can feel it. Fewer lineups at open houses, days on market are growing, sometimes 4, 5, and 6 weeks, and then more back and forth on dates, credits, and negotiations. Pre-sales right now are sweetening the pot again. Sellers are watching their neighbors' reductions before making their next move. It's not a buyer's market everywhere, but the leverage has definitely shifted towards a buyer's market in many buildings. So first of all, 3 reasons right now why the market is condo leaning, or if the condo market feels buyer leaning. So number 1 is selection. Right now, there is so much inventory. It means you have so much selection as a buyer. Fear of missing out is starting to fade. Prices are slowly coming down, and the elevated inventory means that buyers have more choice. This is a huge win for you as a buyer. If there's a specific building you're trying to get into, now's the time because you have a lot of choice and better opportunity to get a really good price, a higher floor at the same price as a lower floor unit. So the key takeaway for this is create a short list of comparable units, target the weaker ones, and let them set the ceiling for what you'll be willing to pay for some of the best ones. Especially if you're targeting a building with multiple floor plans listed. It happened very recently. We had a purchase in River District, beautiful condo. There was unit 507, 1207, and 1807 for sale. We let 507, the lowest floor unit, and sorry, just so we're clear, the blank 07, X07 units are all the same floor plans, just on different prices. 5th floor for 507, 12th floor for 1207, etc. So we let the unit 507 listing set the floor price for our 1807 target listing. And we managed to get the highest floor unit by leveraging the other 2 listings in the building and get a sale lower than any of those 2 were listed at, and then lower than what they ended up selling at, surprising enough. So the key takeaway, of course, target buildings with a lot of listings, especially if they have a lot of listings for the same floor plan. But the second one is we would not have been able to get such an amazing price if the seller wasn't motivated. So definitely target motivated sellers. Some sellers are not willing to negotiate. Even if you put all the numbers and statistics in their face, they won't budge. Just move on to the next seller. There are so many right now. Reason number 2, demand has cooled versus 2024. So even with the fall pickup that we see seasonally during this time, urgency is definitely lower. Fewer multiple offers, more willingness to negotiate. You still see multiple offers happen, but buyers have leverage. So push for those price terms and inclusions, the dates that you want. If you're a buyer right now, really cater the contract to work in your favor. And then, like I already mentioned earlier in this video, target those listings that have been sitting on the market for a long time. Usually those stale listings are for you as a buyer. As a realtor, I see these listings with long days on market and you smell blood in the water. I know I can get a good price on this unit if the seller is willing to negotiate or if they're motivated to sell. If you're a buyer, you should be looking out for these things. You can even consider a realtor to target these old dated listings on the market because you can probably get a really good price without putting up a fight with other buyers. And then number 3, right now are lower, but they're trending gently. Nothing is falling off a cliff. The direction is down, but the slope is mild. Investors are super cautious. First-time home buyers are still very rate sensitive. So the key takeaway is don't chase. Let the days on market build, re-engage after they are starting to put price reductions. Right now, time is on your side. And if they do sell at a higher price than you were willing to pay for it, you're able to just move on to the next listing and keep trying, keep dragging out negotiations, coming back again and again and again after they've been sitting on the market or multiple price reductions. Is a war of attrition right now. All right, so now for the specifics. Right now, sales for condos were 1,071 sales in October 2025. This is down year over year, but up from September. So more sales from September month over month, which is interesting to see. We usually see a spike in September. So a spike in October is, if we're looking at the market overall, we saw a 20% jump in sales month over month. Now for benchmark price, the HPI Housing Price Index for condos right now is $720,000. So this is down 1.4% month over month and down 5.1% year over year. So prices are definitely falling. They're down very, very slow. Per year is pretty big. If you're really shopping in this market, you can get some more below market value, which is insane. But it's up in month. The prices are still down 1.4% month over month. So maybe pricing hasn't caught up to the amount of sales. Maybe the market is shifting. It's hard to say. This was such a huge jump month over month. And we'll know for sure when we look at the stats for November and December. I'm really expecting them to be lower, during the winter season. It's a lot slower. Less people want to move or shop during, cold and snowing and dark. But lies. The motivated sellers will keep their homes listed during the holidays, during the winter season, and motivated buyers won't take any days off and they'll continue shopping right until the new year. But then when we look to the sales listings ratio, we're sitting at between 15 and 16% for October 2025. This is actually balanced. So we're between 12 and 20%, almost exactly. Whereas previously we have seen a lot of, buyer leaning or well into balanced market territory. So again, this could be a big shift in the condo market or in the market in general. We won't know until we see what is coming up in the just had a big splurge of buyers make transactions because we had lower interest rates and these buyers were motivated to try to get into a home before the holiday season, host Christmas or not try to move their belongings during the holidays. Who knows? We'll have to see the November stats and then probably the December stats to make this is speculation. Crazy to see 20%. It's crazy to see a big jump in sales data month over month, especially for condos. All right, now looking at a few submarkets like Vancouver West versus East. West obviously is commanding a premium, but I've been seeing a lot of great deals in Vancouver East. A lot of really good price per square foot. Some of the older stocks, so you have to watch out for special levies and major issues that potentially could come up in a building's life cycle. Vancouver West is much slower, but they seem the properties out there seem pretty reluctant to reduce price. Whereas in Vancouver East, you're getting some banging deals. Now, if we are looking at Burnaby, Coquitlam, and Richmond, these are generally more transit-oriented pockets. They stay pretty liquid. So transactions, even if the market is slow, are usually happening around these neighborhoods. But one thing we've been noticing is homes that need a lot of work are seeing some major discounts. So this is, I guess, a tip for both buyers and sellers, is that even if you are looking to buy or sell a home in a very liquid area, so an area where there are a lot of transactions happening, there's a lot of buyers shopping for those types of homes, a home that needs a lot of work, even if it's only cosmetic on the inside, are getting some major discounts because buyers are pushing back and sellers are flexing. So if you're a buyer, target these dated listings, especially if it's only cosmetic. Paint and is actually pretty cheap. And when you can get, let's say, like 20 to 50 off the purchase price just because it needs, a bit of freshening up, it could be a really good opportunity for you, especially if you're handy or somebody that could support you in the renovation. And then for sellers, consider doing these minor cosmetic updates up front. So a fresh coat of paint, some new lighting could go away, especially in the photos or when buyers are walking through the home. It's one less thing they can push back on price-wise. Typically, the amount of discount a buyer would want on a dated home is going to be much more than what it would cost to actually do those things yourself, especially if you're handy. And then the Tri-Cities, I love the Tri-Cities, especially for end users. You can get some solid homes, good 2000s era's home with like 2 beds. And so really good if you have a car and you need some space. So right now there are pros and cons to a lot of different neighborhoods. So flexibility in location will really help you find an incredible deal in this market right now. I would say if you want to future-proof yourself, so make sure you own a home that is liquid, will appreciate well, no matter, if it's years from now. Something close to a SkyTrain or major bus route will be critical. It'll be good for rental demand. It'll be good for appreciation because typically appreciation is more stable around these transit-oriented areas. And then also if or sell, you'll probably have a lot of buyers walking through the door. So I don't want this video to drag on too long. And a lot of things I've already mentioned, so I'm just going to do a quick hitting style. If you're going to take notes, this is a good one to take notes on. So if you're a buyer, make sure you have an updated pre-approval. As rates in this kind of market, you can get, more lower monthly payment, and you can still update your rate. So make sure you're negotiating your rates or shopping for the best rates or best mortgage package right until completion, even after you remove subjects. Next, target old stale listings. So typically around 28 days plus. So that's 4 weeks plus on the market. It seems to be the sweet spot for leverage. If you're looking at homes that are 200 days on market, those sellers are totally out to lunch. They don't care if they need to sell. They've had the home listed for almost, like 9 months to negotiate with you. Anything over 4 weeks seems to be a sweet spot. If they haven't reduced price yet, there'll probably be a price reduction coming. And if you can beat the buyers to the punch, that's a huge win for you. Next is make sure you're using up-to-date comparables, especially in a market that is trending downwards. You don't want to overpay for a market. You move in day one, you're already at a loss. So you want to make sure you're using up-to-date market data. So if you're looking, the last sale was $700K, and this is 2 months ago, project for where the market is heading. If you're seeing the market fall 2 to 3% month over month, or you're looking at other comparables in neighboring buildings and their similar units are selling around 650, target that 650 price range. You have the data to support you. The flip side of this is you may be anticipating around a 700K purchase price, and let's say you target that 700K, and the next day, the day before, you see a sale for 650 in the same building for the same unit. You're already at a 50K loss because you're using dated data. So make sure you're using up-to-date data. You want to ensure you're getting a really good deal if you're purchasing in this market. And I need to just rely on your realtor. Your realtor knows or should know the comparables. They should know the market. They should know the building. They should know all the recent relevant sales to help you determine how much you should be offering for this home and making sure you get a really good price, a price for you and the market. And I've seen and heard of realtors that aren't doing this, and I'm just so confused, like why, what for this transaction, aside from pushing the paper. Like you really need to work with a realtor that knows the numbers, especially in a falling market like this. Working with the wrong realtor could cost you tens and thousands of dollars. So make sure you're asking your realtor for what's called a CMA, a comparative market analysis. If you want one for your home, or if you're curious about a home and want, an up comparison, I can provide that for you. No problem. All right. Number 4, tight subjects. So what I mean by this, keep financing are typically very, very important, but best to reduce the amount of subjects you have when you're writing on a property. So consider pre-booking an inspection, doing some of the due diligence up front, like asking for all the strata documents, the financials, the engineering reports, and getting your realtor and obviously yourself to help review those ahead of time. Make sure there's no red flags, so you don't need to include those subjects in your offer. On top of this, make sure if you can have flexible dates. If you can match the seller's dates or have a quick completion, a lot of sellers will be willing to work with you, even if it is a lower price. And then a special tip, if you're still watching, for the buyers, this is going to be a good one for you. If you are serious, continue shopping through the winter season. The serious sellers are still trying to sell despite the holidays, the darkness, the coldness, the wetness. If they need to sell, they will keep accepting buyers into the home and negotiating right up until the new year. So if you are a serious buyer, because I know a lot of buyers start to take breaks around this time, keep the pedal on the gas. Keep shopping for homes, keep reaching out for buyers, keep an eye out for new listings, because while other buyers are relaxing, you can keep pushing, get deals that other people won't, and have less competition on top of that. Now for sellers, pricing is so important, especially if you have multiple listings that you're competing with in your building. So you want to price sharp. It's the most important is the market. You don't want to be chasing the market down with little price reductions that really don't have a big enough impact. If you're going to reduce your price, get ahead of the market. Don't price where the buyers are today, price where they're going to be tomorrow. That way you'll stand out amongst the new listings and you will have a net benefit to your overall sale price. Instead of chasing the market down, you'll have longer days on market. You'll probably reduce past to where you would have sold if you reduced price ahead of time. Suddenly, that price would be a good price and now you're still chasing the market down. It just doesn't make sense. Be aggressive and calculated with your price cuts. So number 2, fix friction points ahead of time. So get ahead of small repairs, fresh caulking, paint, updated lightings, get a pre-inspection and start to tackle some of those inspection items ahead of time so that the buyers have less, objections and points does come to that time. Super critical if you want to position yourself really strongly as a seller. Next is presentation. So you want to have bright photos, a floor plan, short video walkthrough, anything you can to get these buyers in the door. And then once they are in the door, you got to target what we call the 5 senses. So you want maybe not taste, maybe some cookies or candy ready for them, but you want the sound. So some light music playing. Target the scent. So you have some pleasant scents or some fresh baked goodies. And you want to make sure the home is clean and clear. You have updated lighting so they can see everything. You work so hard to get a buyer in the home in this market. You want to make sure that they have as pleasant of an experience as possible. And then lastly, if you are stuck on price, let's say you need to hit a certain price to make sure you get into your next home, be flexible on the terms. So offer flexible possession, include minor credits, other inclusions with the home that may not cost you anything, such as like the pavers or a hot tub that you have. Leave it with the home to try to incentivize the buyers to work with you. And then lastly, this is a killer tip. It goes for the same for the sellers. Keep your home listed during the winter holidays. This is when a lot of sellers that aren't so serious about selling and have a lot of time, they'll pull the listing off, take a break for the holidays, relist in 2026. Well, if you are serious about selling, don't take the time off. Keep the home listed straight through the holidays. Keep taking buyers in. Be willing to negotiate and accommodate these buyers. Because while people are taking a break, while other sellers, your competition is taking a break, you're still out there hustling, getting buyers in through the door. You'll have less competition and you'll also be working with serious buyers who aren't taking a break during this time as well. This time in the market, especially if you're a serious buyer or seller, could be a game changer, a critical time in the market that not enough people discuss. All right, to wrap it up, this video has gone long enough. If you're still watching, I appreciate you so much. Let me know in the comments if you're still watching. We're going to rip into who should and who shouldn't buy or sell in this market, and then we're going to close out the video. So who should consider buying? End users right now. If you're wanting a primary residence within budget, you are looking at so many options and you can get a killer price, set you up really, really well for the long term. The long term is really, really important. I love buyers to have on the market. Again, if you're purchasing a condo, it's typically not going to be your forever home, but you want to make sure you're making a good, worthwhile investment in the long run. If you have a 5-year outlook, that is perfect. You're going to outlive all of the ebbs and flows of the market, whether the market's doing this or this. You're sitting pretty. 5 years, you get a good neighborhood, a good unit, you'll be laughing, I imagine. The other main group of buyer is if you're a move-up buyer. If you're looking to purchase into something that is bigger, importantly more expensive, you're getting a bigger discount on the more expensive one than you are on the sale of your less expensive unit. So move-up buyers are doing really well. If you want to upsize into a bigger condo or get into a condo in the same building, you could, if you run you most likely net the difference. This is the market to do that. So the buyers that should wait or be more cautious. These are highly rate sensitive first timers. If your really basis point will make or break the deal, consider waiting. Prices are likely to continue falling. rates are also likely to continue falling. So you may be better off with more of a 90 to 120 day plan instead of a 30-day plan. And then who should consider selling right now? Owners with, an outlook of they want to move into. So if you're a move up buyer, you definitely should be considering selling your condo right now. The gap between, let's call it a condo and a townhome, is so small. You can get a beautiful townhome for so cheap right now, cheaper than you would have in other markets. Just get a killer deal on your townhome. This is the market to do that right now. And this slower buyer market will favor upsizers. And the people that should wait, if you don't need to sell your condo right now, I would suggest not selling it. You're probably better off holding on to it and renting, especially if the prices in your building are tanking. And I've seen that. We sold a condo this year for solid like $650K for a 2-bed. And then these 2 beds brand new are selling for under 600,000 right now. It's insane. So if you're seeing that and you're taking a loss, or you're getting such a, not a good price for your condo, hold off on selling. It's pretty obvious. So if you don't need to sell, probably hold off in the short term. Try to get some rentals. If it is, there's a lot of specific scenarios where you should hold off on selling. If you're unsure, leave a comment or feel free to shoot me a text. I'll be sure to help you out, give you a little bit of advice there. Now, to round it all up, condo conditions in October 2025 are balanced market right now. You have way more selection, softer prices, but sales are up month over month, which leaves everyone questioning, is the market shifting? Will this buyer leaning market not last? Our prices are going to up. Is now the time to buy before the market starts to shift? We will know for sure when it comes to, the November and December, and probably early into next year. We'll have a really good factual view of the market. But right now, still really, really good opportunity. If you have a plan or you see the opportunity, this is still a good time to take it. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments. I'll see you on the next video. I've got more market updates, more tips for condo buyers, sellers, investors, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.